Hello and welcome to the channel. We're playing my very first Bloomburrow draft. We're doing quick draft, so there's no pressure with pick timers, and we're drafting against bots. So we'll see how this goes. Pick one, pack one. Our rare is Caretaker's talent, and that is good with tokens, which is a theme in white, creating creature tokens or other tokens. I think it's creature tokens and food tokens are the most common kind of tokens in Bloomburrow, in the limited format at least. And then, of course, this enables itself with its level 2 by creating a copy of a token, and then it gives your creature tokens a buff at level 3. So I'm not sure if it's a slam dunk pick, but if I'm in white, which this makes me want to be in, then I'm more likely to be able to enable this. And you want to draw maybe 2 cards to feel like you've got your money's worth with Caretaker's Talent. Carrot Cake, apparently one of the best commons in the set, and it's certainly one of the best white commons. So I'd love, and that obviously works very well with Caretaker's Talent because it creates 2 1/1 rabbit creature tokens, first when it enters and then when you sacrifice it. So that's amazing with Caretaker's Talent. So we would hope that this one comes back. I have my doubts. Shrike Force is a fine white uncommon with flying, double strike, and vigilance. So it's good attacking and blocking and great with combat tricks. Splash Lasher is a good blue uncommon, but I'm led to understand by such limited podcasts as Great Limited Podcasts as Limited Resources or Lords of Limited that blue is the weakest color in Bloomburrow in the limited format, so you probably want to avoid taking the blue card first and staying out of blue unless you get drawn in by a very strong card. And with 4 white cards in the pack, there's a chance that one of them comes back if I take Caretaker's Talent. So I think that's the pick here, and honestly, there's nothing else that is as strong as Caretaker's Talent could be if I enable it enough, and you really don't need that much to enable Caretaker's Talent for it to go off. So I think it's worth taking here, and really hope that we get Carrot Cake back. Other cards I would be happy. Heat Harvest, if I end up in green, would be fine, especially if I have any squirrel synergies. And Glide Dive Duo is a fine top-end flyer in black. So I think we'll take Caretaker's Talent here and hope to get into white. So we'll prioritize white as we go on. Okay. So no mono white cards in the pack. Some strong options though. Heartfire Hero is a great mouse for the red-white mouse deck because it picks up +1/+1 counters when you target it with a spell or ability. Nocturnal Hunger, great unconditional removal in black. Baker's Bane Duo, one of the top green commons. Heart of the Homestead is a hybrid green-white card, and this works very well with Caretaker's Talent since it triggers the card. And it's just a powerful card in its own right. So I think that's our pick here. A little concerning. I don't know if there were any white cards in the pack or if the white card was taken out of this pack. So white might not be that open. But I think Head of the Homestead is a good second pick that keeps us in white and works with our first pick. Baker's Bane Duo also works with Caretaker's Talent because a food token also counts as creating a food. Okay. Hazard Root Herbalist works well with tokens because it buffs your attacking creatures, and if you target a token with the Herbalist's ability, then it gains Death Touch. It also enables Valiant if you have mice. So that could be the pick here, but staying in one color early, if you can manage it, is generally better. And banishing light is fine. Removal, I'm led to understand, again, those great podcasts I mentioned earlier. Removal is not as great in Bloomburrow in this limited format as it normally is because of all the cheap creatures and creature tokens running around. But it's still effective, and I think it's the pick here to keep us in white. It also cuts white, although there's veteran guard mounts, so we're more likely to be able to pick up white cards, at least in pack 2. Let's see. I'm pretty far from Lily Splash Mentor, but that's a great card to go in Blue-Green Frogs. Festival of Embers, really not very good. You actually want to have a full graveyard in Bloomburrow to work with various synergies, and Festival of Embers exiles your cards. So you can only cast instants or sorceries from your graveyard if you put them in there before you cast Festival of Embers. And it's expensive, and it doesn't really do very much, so I would avoid it here. Brambleguard Captain is fine. I think Rust Shield Rampager is the best card in the pack. It's a nice evasive green creature. It enables Expend, that's the raccoon mechanic where you spend 4 or more mana casting spells. And it has the Offspring mechanic, so it creates a 1/1 token copy of itself if you pay the 2 extra mana in this case. Is it enough better than the only white card in the pack, which is Thistledown Players? Honestly, a 3/3 for 3 is not that bad. Most 3-drops in Limited tend to be 3/2s, which trade down, or 2/3s, which aren't that great as attackers. So this is actually a fine body. And if you have any other mice, it does enable Valiant because you can target with the ability. It's not likely to be super useful in our deck, at least with the start we have. But again, I think it's worth taking white to cut white and try and make sure that it's open in pack 3. And it's not that much worse than Rust Shield Rampager that I think I'm giving up on a lot of value. A 3/3 for 3 is pretty good as it is. Let's see. Shoreline Looter is a strong blue uncommon. It can't be blocked, and once you've achieved Threshold, which is if you have at least 7 or more cards in your graveyard, then you start drawing cards when you hit with it. So that's good, but again, I don't think it's a good enough reason to go into blue. Shortbow is great for enabling Valiant. Rabbit Response is fine, but I think you can pick it up late, and you usually only want just the one copy as a finisher in your go wide rabbit decks. And there's a Head of the Homestead here, which is definitely the best card. Works with our Caretaker's Talent, and it's a good card in its own right. So I think we take it over the Rabbit Response here. Bumbleflower Sharepot as expensive removal. It does make a food token, which works with our Caretaker's Talent. But there's Intrepid Rabbit in the pack, which is one of White's best commons. If you can play this for 4 mana, it's amazing. First of all, because with 4 mana, with paying the offspring cost for an additional mana, you trigger the Enter ability, giving target creature you control +1/+1 until end of turn twice. So it provides a big boost to an attacking creature if you can cast it for its offspring cost. And then, of course, creating a 1/1 token copy of itself works with our Caretaker's Talent. So I think I take it here over Shrike Force. It also works better with our general go wide white deck theme. So I think it's the pick here. With 3 white cards in the pack in pick 6, I think that's could be a good sign, especially Intrepid Rabbit being this late. I think that could be a good sign for us. How many Head of the Homesteads are too many? There's nothing else I really want out of this pack. Starforged Sword. I mean, it does make every creature a threat. But Head of the Homestead is exactly what our deck wants right now. We want Caretaker's Talent to be as good as possible, so that means we want as many ways of creating tokens as possible. And that also leaves us, that or Starforged Sword, leaves us open to finding a second color if we open, say, a good rare or uncommon in a second color in pack 2, depending on how the rest of this pack goes, if we can stay in white. Life Creed Duo has been better than it looks from what I've seen of it. And this is something I need to work on. I don't have any creatures with mana value 2 or less until I get Life Creed Duo. That would be my first. So Dewdrop Cure, not looking that great right now. I do need to get more 2-drops. Bloomburrow is an assertive format, so you need to get on the board early. So Life Creed Duo, I think, is the pick here because it's a 2-drop, first of all, and most importantly, it's an evasive threat, although 1 power doesn't do a lot of damage, and it gains life when other creatures we control enter, which works great with our token creating creatures like Intrepid Rabbit or Head of the Homestead. So we're on the wheel. Feather of Flight came back. So did Veteran Guardmouse. That could be another white card. I only have Thistledown players to enable Valiant. And Feather of Flight, of course, also enables Valiant, because you're targeting a creature when you cast this. It has Flash, so it's less susceptible to being blown out by opponent's removal, and it draws a card when it enters, so it replaces itself. So I think that's fine. Over the Veteran Guardmouse. We need more ways of enabling Valiant in order for a card like Veteran Guardmouse to be any good. Putting Feather of Flight on Thistledown players would be nice, because that means that we can trigger its ability consistently because it's got flying. Would have preferred Carrot Cake, but this will have to do. No white cards. This was the pack that didn't have any white cards other than the Head of the Homestead anyway. If you can forage Treetop Sentries is pretty good. It's a solid blocker, It's 4 mana for the Raccoon's mechanic expend, spending 4 more mana on spells. Foraging is you exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food token. So that might be fine, but that doesn't necessarily tie us into green. I think it just happens to be the best card in the pack and works well with what we already have going on. We would need to be more aggressive for Cindering Cutthroat or Frilled Sparkshooter to be good. And Bellowing Crier, it's pretty bad with all those 1/1 rabbits running around. Enter ability isn't the worst. It gives you some card selection. But I don't think I want to take a blue card. And Bellowing Crier is not a good enough blue card for me to consider it. So I think we take Treetop Sentries. I have one mouse, the Thistledown players, but there are more mice in white, and I could still end up in red, because I haven't settled on a second color. 3-Tree Mascot is any creature type because of its changeling ability, but I don't think that makes it good enough to play. It's just really mediocre. Might of the Meek is a fine combat trick. Could take High Stride, that's also not the worst. Might of the Meek draws a card though, so I think that makes it better. This doesn't seem impressive to me. I think we just take another Might of the Meek. So we would want more mice to go with all those. So short bow, we'll put that in the sideboard for now. Is Castrol good enough for me to want to go into blue-white? LSD from Limited Resources has played with Castrol a number of times. He said in the Format Overview podcast, and didn't do well in any of those drafts. So that is a bit of a warning. Crumb and Get It is fine. Brazen Collector is an excellent 2-drop. It's a raccoon and not a mouse, though. Baker's Bane Duo would be fine. Thistledown players, I would prefer to take a 2-drop, but I'm not sure I want to pick a second color based on these, although Brazen Collector is a good reason to get into red. I'd still need more mice for Might of the Meek to be worth playing. I think Brazen Collector is good enough to take. It's a 2-drop, which I need. It has First Strike, and when you attack with it, you add a red mana, so you ramp. You can also tap out, add red, and then you can cast Might of the Meek off that mana. So that's an interesting interaction. I think it's enough better than Crumb and Get It or Thistledown players to take it. Although I don't think that sets me on red-white just yet. Bravekin Duo is a mouse. So that would be... I think it's weaker than several of the other picks, so I don't think I take it just so I can make Might of the Meek better. Beauregard Mentor is great. That does commit us to white-green, but I think it's good enough that we would be willing to make that commitment. Rabid Gnaw is also a good one. Bramble Guard Captain would be fine, but we already have lots of more expensive plays. Life Creed Duo, also fine. I think it's between Rabid Gnaw and Beauregard Mentor. I think the Beauregard Mentor is enough stronger that I take it over the Rabid Gnaw here. I wouldn't mind either Bravekin Duo or Life Creed Duo coming back. Thoughtstalker Warlock is a powerful black card. Seasoned Warren Guard is bad if you're on the defensive. And I'm not sure, I don't have any, right now I don't have any cheap ways of making tokens, so it wouldn't be very good right now. If I got some carrot cakes, it would be, if I had some carrot cakes, I should say, I would consider Seasoned Warren Guard, because I could play this on one and then a carrot cake on two. I think I'm deep enough into either green or red that I don't want to dip into a third color, although either Savor also triggers Caretaker's Talent because it makes a food token. That or Thoughtstalker Warlock would be fine. Another Banishing Light could be fine, but I think I want something that impacts the board, and Life Creed Duo is a white 2-drop. So I think I'd take it over the Banishing Light. I'm more interested in green than red, so I'm not sure I take a third Might of the Meek. I still don't have that many rabbits. Rabbit response. I don't think Sun Shower Druid is. That's not a good green card except for the green-blue frogs deck. So I don't think I'd take that here. Seed Pod Squire could be fine. I think it's probably better than Rabbit Response. And it is a fairly big flyer. Okay, looking like white and green are being cut from this direction. I think we take Rabbit Response here. Oh, this is better. Honor Dray Leader. I have one squirrel and no ways of making food. So I don't think I want the Honored Dray Leader. That's basically secretly a green-black gold card for the green-black squirrels deck. Is 4 Head of the Homesteads too many? Heads of the Homestead, I should say. I still have only one mouse. This is a cheaper way of enabling Caretaker's Talent. It works with Seed Pod Squire. If I create the token copy, that actually works with Caretaker's Talent going to level 2 because I'm targeting the token. It works with Thistledown players. It works with Feather of Flight. I think I do need some less expensive plays, so as much as it pains me to pass up ahead of the Homestead, I think I need to take the Flowerfoot Swordmaster here. Alright, Waxwayne Witness could be good with the 2 Life Creed duos. I think Mabel's Medal is more what I'm looking for. Maybe we can play this over rabbit response, since it is good for going wide. All right, we'll take Bravekin Duo here. It's a rabbit mouse, and it enables Valiant on my Flowerfoot Swordmasters for cheap. So I think, all right, Crumb and Get It. We can play that over Mabel's Medal. Nothing here, so we'll just see that we have all of them. Druid of the Spade could be good. Doesn't matter. We're not in red anymore. I don't think that's... Oh! Harvest Right Host. I still only have the one other Squirrel Treetops entries, so I'm not even sure I want the Thorn Vault Forager. It does enable me to get to 4 and 5 mana quicker, but Harvest Right Host I think is more what we want. It draws cards off of Intrepid Rabbit if I pay it for its offspring cost, and Head of the Homestead. So I think that is probably better, and I think even better than Banishing Light. Repel Calamity could be good. Warden Elder or Tree Guard duo would be fine. I only have 3 2-drop creatures. So as much as I would like a removal spell like Repel Calamity, I think I take Warren Elder. And Warren Elder is a 2-drop that this deck wants because we're going wide with tokens. And it's a good mana sink in the late game. I don't know if my Beauregard Mentor could be good enough, is good enough, I think, to make it worth considering Dewdrop Cure. I don't think I want the Pileated Provisioner because I have 3 5-drops already. Take out the trash would be fine. Banishing Light. I probably could use some more removal in this deck. Rushed Shield Rampager. So I think I take the Banishing Light. I think I just... Beauregard Mentor is the only 2-drop that I really am interested in getting back with Dewdrop Cure, so... I haven't seen any Carrot Cakes after the one in the opening pack, which is too bad. That would be great for this deck. And it's probably getting late to see any carrot cakes now. I think Tree Guard Duo is the pick here over the Guard Mouse. I'll take another Thistledown players. Sticky Tongue Sentinel is a good body, and imagine bouncing like an Intrepid Rabbit to replay it, or a Head of the Homestead, or even a Tree Guard Duo would be fine. I think I like that over another Thistledown players, which I have 2 of already. Nothing here. Hold down Alt to see what I don't have that much of. Rush Shield Rampager. I don't think I'm going to play Starforge Sword. I don't think I'm going to play Bumbleflower Sharepot, but it is removal and it makes a food for Caretaker's Talent. So we didn't get any Carrot Cakes, which is really unfortunate. This deck really wants Carrot Cake. Okay, so we need to make a few cuts. As much as this makes a food token, which is good for Caretaker's Talent, I just don't think I want that such expensive removal. I think we do want to have 17 lands with 3 Heads of the Homestead, and I think I'm going to cut at least 1 4-mana creature, and I think it's going to be Sentries. I didn't get any Carrot Cakes, which would work with Treetop Sentries because they're food. And I'm not sure how often I'm going to be able to enable the Forge ability. And I also have card draw off Harvest Right Host, and Caretaker's Talent anyway. So I don't think I need the Treetop Sentries. They're also not a particularly aggressive creature. So 2 more cuts. How many creatures do we have? 18. More creatures is better for cards like Beauregard Mentor, Warren Elder, Feather of Flight, Mabel's Medal, and Rabbit Response. With 3 Heads of the Homestead, I think Rabbit Response is fine. Beauregard Mentor has Trample, so Feather of Flight is less interesting. I think I like the combat tricks to go with Enable Valiant on the Flowerfoot Swordmaster. And this is an aura, and those are weak in the face of removal, even if you can flash it in. I just need to make 1 more cut. I kind of want to keep in the Mabel's Medal and Come and Get It to go with the Flowerfoot Swordmaster. I think we want Rabbit Response, so maybe it's a Banishing Light? I could go down another creature. Because maybe I shouldn't go down to 1 removal spell. Rushed Shield Rampager could go, but it does trigger Caretaker's talent with Offspring, so I think I like keeping it in here. Bravekin Duo is a cheap and repetitive way of triggering Valiant on Flowerfoot Swordmaster, so I think we keep that. It's also an early play, which is important. So I think it's between Vanishing Light and Rabbit Response. I think I'm going to take a risk and cut a Vanishing Light. I could cut Druid of the Spade. How many ways of creating tokens do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This also makes a token when you get it to level 2, 6, 7. Is that enough for Druid of the Spade? If I had a couple of carrot cakes, I think it would be an easy inclusion. It could be one of the Thistledown players, but 3/3 for 3 is fine. Beauregard Mentor is a better version, basically, of Druid of the Spade. Okay, I think we'll cut Druid of the Spade. Alright, so we just have to add back in 17 lands, but otherwise, this deck is ready to go. Okay. 4 lands is a bit much. But I have an early play. Rabbit Response. Only 2 creatures, and they don't make tokens, so it's not that exciting. I don't think I want to go down to 6 cards on the play, because I don't have a draw step on my first turn. So I think we keep this, and hope we don't flood out. It's too bad Bravekin Duo's ability activates only as a sorcery, because that would be great if you could untap it with the Thistledown players and then immediately tap it again. Oh, what luck. We drew a 2-drop. Another land, not what we wanted to see. That's good. Unless they're playing white-black, they won't have many ways of giving this flying and vigilance. Opponent misses land drop. Alright. finally hits their third land and gets Thistledown player. That is an aggressive attack. We have plenty of life, so I don't think we block. Another land, not great. With Rabbit Response, I think we want as many attackers as possible. Even if opponent blocks, are they just dead here? That's 3, 8, yes. Those are both good draws. The game's about to end, though. Alright. There we go. Okay. Only 2 lands, but I do have a turn to play. I am on the play. Again, going down to 6 when you're on the play is not great. I've got removal. I've got plays lined up for, so I'll be curving out. So I think we keep this. Unlikely that this opponent will get mana screwed as badly as the previous one. And we draw a third land. That's excellent. Would have preferred a plains. We're much heavier white, but any land will do. There's our plains. I don't think the Agate Blade Assassin is good enough to get rid of with Banishing Light. And Thistledown players blocks it. Honestly, I'm considering banishing this short bow. If I had a combat trick, I would attack with Thistledown players, but... Oh, it's got reach. Oh, but he takes it. Okay. Maybe I do get rid of Banishing Light. I mean, short bow. I think we curve out with Head of the Homestead next. That's fine. And then we can consider getting rid of something with Banishing Light on our turn. Our next turn, that is. Okay. So we did, by saying oops, we did kind of give away we don't have something for Life Creed Duo. So I don't think we can buff attack. Alright, that was great. Junk Blade Bruiser. Well, we draw another Banishing Light. And we can play both. So is it get rid of Short Bow, get rid of Junk Blade Bruiser? And that's enough for our opponent. Alright, there we go. Getting rid of Shortbow with Banishing Light was the correct play. And we're in silver. On the play, I think we save Flowerfoot Swordmaster for turn 3, because making the token is excellent with Beauregard Mentor. I don't think we hurry to play Beauregard Mentor, although that would be a good turn to play, because then it's a 3-3 when we play the Flowerfoot Swordmaster. But I like the idea of gaining the extra life off Flowerfoot Swordmaster with Life Creep Duo. Head to the Homestead, excellent draw with our Beauregard Mentor. Opponent plays an island. This is Quick Draft. Oh, and it's frogs. That's actually pretty... That's the good blue deck, is blue-green frogs. 3-tree Scribe is pretty good. Doesn't have reach. Bravekin Duo or the Thistledown players would be pretty nice. Bravekin Duo is a mouse, so I think that's a bit better. Those would be good to play along with Beauregard Mentor. Opponent stays back. Don't mind drawing another land, because that gets us to head of the Homestead. It's really not that bad for me, to be honest. It means it won't have the opportunity to play that trick on my Beauregard Mentor when I'm attacking with that. He's still paused, so he could have the 2-mana counterspell. Alright. Opponent also has been missing land drops. Wouldn't mind drawing another land so I can play Banishing Light and Thistledown players. Do I have an attack if I play Head of the Homestead? This becomes a 6/6. So yes, I do. Opponent's tapped out and they only have 5 power. drawing a land lets me play Thistledown players and Banishing Light. So I think I want a land. So I could play Banishing Light and Thistledown players. That's the most efficient. Opponent. They do have all spells, which is kind of annoying. But they're down to one blocker. I think we get rid of the 3-tree scribe with Banishing Light. Opponent hits their 4th land. Drawing a land is not ideal. That does mean that I definitely have enough mana to pay for the counterspell if that's what they have. They are forced to block here. I probably could have just attacked with their run. What was that? That would have been lethal. I should have attacked. Yeah, it was the Dazzling Denial. Well, I think opponent's dead, even though we had lethal last turn. Looks like they had another counterspell. Alright. Well, we've been off to a great start so far. On the play again. This is a slower hand. But I don't want to go down to 6. I'm likely to draw an early drop anyway. And Head of the Homestead works really well with Caretaker's Talent. And I do have Banishing Light as early removal. So I'm going to keep it. Opponent's still making up their mind. They keep 7. Alright. Hoping for a 2-drop. Intrepid Rabbit, you really want another creature first. Well, I hate discard effects. Good thing I didn't discard a land. Alright, really want to draw a land. I can get rid of that with the Banishing Light. Opponent is 3 colors. Maybe I should get rid of the Dark Star Augur. Not drawing the land was not very good here. Bandit's talent is still a ways from letting them draw cards if I have one or fewer cards in hand. Whereas Dark Star Augur draws them extra cards now. So I think it's the Dark Star Augur. Star Charter's pretty good. Would love to wait to play Rust Shield Rampager with Offspring, but I think I want to get a creature down so I can get some benefits with Intrepid Rabbit. Opponent hits their land. Veteran Guardmouse. And we hit our land thanks to drawing a card. Off Caretaker's Talent. Would love to get Life-Free Duo down before Head of the Homestead, but I think that's our next turn's play anyway. That's fine. No blocks. Opponent has one card in hand. Another Veteran Guardmouse. We have 7 mana. I make a token copy of Intrepid Rabbit. The enter ability triggers. Beauregard Mentor. Well, opponent drew a land. Rise to the bottom. We have to block because otherwise we take lethal, so I think we make this trade. Alright. I kind of wish I'd drawn a land because I can get Caretaker's Talent to level 3 or play Rapid Response, but not both. But I think Rapid Response is just lethal here. They have 1 blocker and they're at 6 life. Well, Rapid Response has definitely proved useful. We've been on the play every game, which is definitely lucky. I wish I could keep this. I have an early play, a Caretaker's Talent, although no token creation to go with it, but I simply can't keep a hand with no white sources in the opener. So I think we have to go down to 6 here. Okay, I don't want to go down to 5. Don't like the fact I don't have any green sources. And we'll just have to hope we get some early draws. Although these heads of the homestead are going to be nice with Rapid Response. We do hit a green source. A land is probably the last thing we wanted to draw, however. Okay, Warren Elder. Is fine. Opponent is ramping with 3-tree Root Reaver. So they could play a 4-drop already. It's Camellia. I could pump Warren Elder to a 3/3 with its ability, but it still trades if they double block. So I think we just Banishing Light Camellia. Otherwise, she's going to create too many tokens. And hope they don't have enchantment removal. They probably don't bother blocking if I attack. Alright. Okay, that's fine. I think I give them a food here. Excellent. Opponent's been missing land drops, which is kind of lucky for them, because they've got the ramp. I don't think we block here. If opponent has a way of giving that indestructible at instant speed, it's not worth losing a creature for free. Beauregard Mentor. Wouldn't mind drawing the land so I can play Beauregard Mentor and Rabbit Response. Oh yes, it was a good thing I didn't block, because they did play a 4-drop, as I suspected. No blocks. Tree Guard duo is pretty good, but I think we play Rabbit Response here. We're going to do a ton of damage. Alright. So we're going to do 369. I think this is just lethal. Wow, Rabbit Response does it again. That card has definitely been proving its worth. We're finally on the draw. I have an extra draw step to find more lands, but in the meantime I have a turn 1 play and a turn 2 play, Rabbit Response and Title of the Homestead, and Tree Guard Duo. That'll be better to play after I play Head of the Homestead, but I could curve out one to hopefully get a 3-drop into 4. So I think we keep this. There's a 3. Didn't draw a land, which I think I would have preferred. Opponent black-green. Still no land. This could be a problem. Well, at least I get to decide what to discard. I could attack with Warren Elder and make it a 3/3, but if they double block, I only kill the Thoughtstalk Warlock, and Warren Elder's ability is much more useful. Okay, opponent's impatient. So I don't think I want to trade. Alright, that wasn't that bad. Wow, I'm really not pleased. I hate discard. Alright, 4th land was good. Really hoping to hit another land, especially since if they hit their land, they can recast Ruthless Negotiation. No blocks. Excellent. And opponent missed their land. Well, that was annoying. But opponent did have to 2-for-1 themselves. Still missed the land drop. Alright, what do I target with Intrepid Rabbit? I can also use Bravekin Duo's ability this turn. Okay, I'm getting really annoyed. Hunt doesn't block. And they're down to 4, although they do have all that food. Opponent has 1 card left in hand. Alright, we don't want to give them any value with Ruthless Negotiation. Okay. So I can use Bravekin Duo's ability and Born Elder. Which means we're attacking with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, opponent just concedes. Well, whether that was because they didn't think they had a chance or they were just too impatient, I'll take it either way. Alright, we're on the play again. That's 6 out of 7 games. This, by the way, we've gone 6-0. This is game 7, so if we win this game, we get the trophy, and that also means we have 3 shots at getting the trophy. I think this is keepable. We have 1 into 2. We have Rabbit Response, which has definitely Privet's Worth, and Head to the Homestead, and some removal in Banishing Light. Would have preferred to have hit a land. Well, if we don't draw lands, that could be a problem. If Bravekin Duo's ability is more useful to me than trading it for an Otter. Didn't draw land. That's bad. At least we drew something we could play. Excellent. Alright. I think to be mana efficient, we want to play Banishing Light. Opponent doesn't have any instants or sorceries to get back. So we might not get rid of the Storm Chaser's talent here. Kitsa, probably the most threatening because they can draw Flood with her. Tempest Angler is pretty annoying too. But I think it's Kitsa. Missing with land was bad, although opponent at least is also missing their land drops. Land 4, perfect. Alright. Having these flyers is pretty useful, I have to say. Alright. So I'm pretty sure opponents got something. We're at 24 life. Is opponent dead on the crack pack if they don't play a blocker? Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, we're taking a lot of damage, but we're not dead. An opponent has 1 mana left. And I think it's going to be Rabbit Response. Hang on. How come I can't play Rabbit Response? Oh, because I don't have double white. Oh, well, I guess I'm losing then. Should have paid more attention. Don't usually draw that many green sources. Opponent doesn't have trample, so we can jump with our rabbits. Thistle down players. Well, these life tree duos have definitely been worth their weight in gold. Opponents at 2. Oh, are we dead? Oh my god, we survive at 1. There's the double white. We did it! We went 7-0! What a game! I don't believe it! Wow! And we got all the way to silver tier 2. Well, we almost lost that game because of that misplay, but it turns out it didn't matter. We got there in the end. Those life tree duos definitely are why we didn't lose that game. So that card pulls its weight even outside of bats, which is its main home. All right, so there we go. 7-0 with this deck. Let's take another quick look at it. Like I've said a few times, it would have been great with Carrot Cake. The combat tricks, Come and Get It. We never drew Mabel's Medal. Come and Get It was good that once when we needed it. Rabbit Response won us several games. Head of the Homestead was as advertised. Warren Elder we never activated, but having that ability is useful. Life Tree Duo, definitely an overperformer. They basically were the reason that I won that last game. I would have died without them in play, gaining so much life. Intrepid Rabbit, as good as advertised. Never drew the Harvest Right host. Caretaker's Talent. I only played it that one game, but I drew 3 cards off of that, and that was good because opponent had the Bandit's Talent, so keeping my hand full was important. Beauregard Mentor was great. We never went off with Flowerfoot Swordmaster, so maybe that was probably the weakest creature, and we should have kept in the token, the rabbit that tramples if you gets +2 power and tramples if you have a token in play. Bravekin Duo worked out fine. Banishing Light was useful when I needed it to be. Yep. Seed Pod Squire was fine. Shrigar Duo, I think I only played once, but it was really good when I did because it buffed the Beauregard Mentor a lot. So overall, I'm pretty happy. Obviously, I'm very happy with how this deck performed, and this is a great start to Bloomburrow Draft for me. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you thought I should have made any plays differently, do please leave a comment. And please like and subscribe. Thanks again. Bye.